earned a BA from George Washington University and an MFA from Rosemont College in 2015. She currently teaches writing part-time at Delaware County Community College and is the mother of 2 young children. Her short story, Meet, appeared in the 2009 edition of the Montgomery County Community College Literary Magazine, This Side Up. Now that her youngest child has turned 5, she's looking forward to less momming and more writing, as well as an increase in uninterrupted trips to the bathroom. I hope that happened for you. Thanks. Please welcome Heather Fix.
My parents had the only single-family house on the block. Small, but not a duplex. In those days, Freddie's parents lived on one side of a red brick house with a slightly lopsided porch. Mr. and Mrs. McCracken lived on the other side with Mr. McCracken's ancient mother-in-law. I would sleep over at Freddie's house some nights. Sound traveled through the walls sometimes with astonishing clarity. I would wonder how Freddie's family could live next door to the McCrackens, separated by what seemed to be eggshell. It unsettled me how close you could be to another person's joy or heartbreak, hearing it in clear detail, without being able to see it or participate in it. Not that I could have articulated that as a kid. Mr. McCracken was in his late 40s when Freddie and I were about 12. He was a heavy smoker, one of those who would practically light the next one off the one in his mouth. Upstairs in Freddie's room, I would often be jarred awake by the sound of Mr. McCracken waking at 5 a.m., coughing violently off and on for a good hour. I would think of my dad out in the garage working. In those years, he smoked mostly outside when he was working a lot. He rarely smoked in the house. Dad seemed to me so much younger than Mr. McCracken at the time. Now that I do the math, Dad must have only been a little past 30. 30. So young. Ancient when you're a kid, of course. I would lie next to Freddie, who was snoring away. In between his snores, I could hear the gasping, hacking sounds coming from Mr. McCracken. Sometimes, I could lie in bed and picture the clouds beneath my eyelids and drift back to sleep. Other times, hearing the sound, I would panic, my heart clanging in my chest like a runaway fire truck. That's when I couldn't take being alone. Freddie. Freddie. Freddie! I grasped his shoulder and shook. Often he would startle, flail his hands for a second, as though reaching out to hug something above his head, then fall back asleep. Sometimes this would happen more than once, and I would resort to pressing a loud, "Freddie!" into his ear. Other times he would wake right up. No matter how quickly he woke up, though, he always seemed pissed about it. "Sully, what the hell? What do you want?" Although he knew the answer would be the same as the last time. Nothing. I don't want nothing. I can't stand hearing Mr. McCracken coughing." "Damn, Sully, you are such a friggin' light sleeper." Freddie would roll on his back, his face simultaneously fuzzy with sleep and pinched with annoyance. "Put a pillow over your head or something. I think I have earplugs in my desk." How could I explain it wasn't just the sound that upset me for its own sake? It was the thought of my dad becoming another Mr. McCracken, of hearing my own dad coughing like that, and not being behind a wall, having nowhere to hide, of seeing the sights that might accompany those sounds. How do you tell your friend these things? And how do you tell your friend any of this when you're 12? "Nah, I'll be okay." I rolled onto my back and stared at the ceiling. "Freddie?" He was already dozing off, and my voice jolted him out of sleep again. "What is it, dude?" I stared at the ceiling, not answering. Freddie sighed. "Mr. McCracken again?" Sometimes, once it started, the coughing could go on for hours. This time, the other side of the wall had fallen silent. I didn't know what to say. "No." "What is it then? You have a nightmare? Aliens again? Seriously, dude, it's just a dream." "No, I wasn't asleep yet." "Then what is it?" Freddie was turning bearish now. I turned the thought over and over in my mind like a rock with a mossy underside. My dad. "Huh?" "My dad. What are you talking about? You're at my house. I know that shit for brains." "Well," Freddie rolled over, stared at me, let out an exasperated sigh, and flicked on the bedside lamp. He sat up and folded his arms. "Okay, I'm awake now, dude. You better start talking." Freddie sitting up, hair standing on end, glaring at me in his Spider-Man pajamas. None of this was conducive to a confession of my deeper feelings. I better start talking or what? Dude, I would beat the shit out of you right now. You woke me up twice, and now what the fuck is it? Although Freddie was my best friend, it was hard to make myself talk. When I hear Mr. McCracken, when I stopped and swallowed hard. Freddie squinted at me, his hair standing on end, looking like a brunette cockatiel. Sleep dust crusted the corner of one eye, making it stay half closed. The sight of him was too much. I started to laugh nervously. What? Freddie demanded. Dude, if you could see your hair, you look like a bird, one that's been shat on by another bird. Sully, I don't give a shit about my hair. Will you tell me what the fuck is wrong already? The giggles had progressed into a manic laughing fit. Okay. I smothered my face in the pillow, trying to calm down. Freddie continued to stare at me. Finally, I sat up. Okay, you want to know? I'm afraid of my dad winding up like that. Freddie blinked, dazed, like he had just encountered morning sun. Your dad's a lot younger than Mr. McCracken. That's not going to happen. How do you know? I don't know. Maybe your dad will quit. Freddie scratched his avian mohawk. Mom's been trying to get him to quit forever. Like since we were in kindergarten. I don't think he's going to. Well, maybe if your mom gets mad enough at him. Usually when my dad's not doing stuff my mom asked him to do, if she gets mad enough, he'll do it. Like last week, he didn't take out the trash. Finally, she got so pissed, she threw a piece of Tupperware at his head, and then he did it. Your mom did that? Freddie shrugged. Yeah, you know how she can get. She's fine most of the time, but if she gets mad, she skitzes out. I turned the idea over in my mind. When Mom got angry, she got silent. I couldn't picture her throwing anything. I don't know. I don't think Mom would do that, you know? And she's been mad plenty of times before. Dad slams the door, goes to the pizza shop, comes back with a six-pack. They don't talk the rest of the night. The next day, it's like it never happened. Freddie sighed and looked at the time on his alarm clock. Your dad's not old like Mr. McCracken, though. Let's go to sleep, okay? Resigned, I nodded. Freddie clicked off the lamp and rolled over toward his nightstand. In the darkness, I stared at the cracks in the ceiling. I pretended it was the sky, a blue one, full of fast-moving clouds. I remember the time on the way to the shore when we saw a rainbow. It was a full, vibrant one, not a half a faint one like you usually see. Dad pulled over to take a picture. He had his camera on him since we were going on vacation. He really hung around for a bit trying to catch that rainbow. Where was that picture? When I went home, I would find it. I fell into sleep in a land where Spider-Man jumped over rainbows. I tried to follow him, but I didn't have comic book powers. I was asking Spider-Man how to get them when I heard Mr. McCracken cough again, and I started awake. Heart clamoring, I looked over at Freddie. I wasn't going to wake him again. I was alone with the cracks in the ceiling. I stared at them, trying hard to find a rainbow.